What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Oh, hit runs of Baldur's Gate 3 are probably like super dialogue based. Use jump and then you can end the game in Act 2. Wow, I didn't know that. Suspends or Rhinos? Rhinos versus Goryo is always a pretty interesting matchup. Gonna go for Scam, of course. I guess I could have also waited to fetch until this resolved. I could have Subtlety. Pretty good. Happy they didn't draw land. Then Archaeologist can dig for either the combo or another Ephemerate. I think with double Solitude in my hand, I want Ephemerate more than I want a Goryo's. I don't have an Atraxa in the yard. And just like being, like I know they have footfalls coming down, being able to Solitude Ephemerate the footfall seems pretty important here. I could maybe mill over Mending. Oh, Teferi's pretty good. Do need another land, though. Oh, yeah, sorry, I thought I paid out the prediction. Totally crushing with this deck today. Soldier Bard, the 7 months, thank you. Breeding Pool, showing up to work. I guess a little bit worse than Seachrome Coast here, but not by much. Alright, and they just pack it in. Okay, so their graveyard hate is going to be mostly Endurance, which Teferi Time Raveler is your main answer to that. And what's nice about Teferi Time Raveler is, of course, it's also just kind of good against their deck. Of course, I will probably cut a Mending and a Griselbrand and click Submit. Or the bad matchup. Scam is a bad matchup, I think. We are 1-0 against Scam on the day, but I think of like the top decks, it's easily Scam is the worst. Like, you're kind of bad against all of the cards in their deck. Ragavan, Voidwalker, Bowmaster, Blood Moon, Grief. Not that good against Defess Fury. I guess no, maybe you are. You're a Solitude deck. But you could win. I do think that the Force Celestial Purge sideboard plan is about as good as it's going to get. Just cut your forces for purges. We'll keep this. Discard tracks of the hand size. Do you not miss Break the Ice? Well, I've only played against Tron once, but we have Stony Silence on the board. I don't know. Tron is also like very, very much fallen off in the leagues, I think. I haven't played against it in like 3 days or something. Well, like I played against like the Dice Factory Tron today, but I haven't played against normal Tron in like 3 days. It's not really something I'm too worried about at the moment, I guess. But again, you only have 15 sideboard cards, you know what I mean? Ephemerate? It's Grief now, I think. Would you just keep and discard this hand ever to PT? I think you just small. Yeah, I would 100% keep on the draw against Rhinos. I'd 100% keep this hand at the PT. I think it sounds like it's just an easy keep. Well, their hand sucks. That hand's not a keep at the PT, maybe. This could be a counterspell deck, you think? I wouldn't put the card counterspell in this deck. And I like to put the card counterspell in a lot of decks. Yeah, it's pretty common for Rhinos to play Murktide. And it's also pretty common for chatters to not realize that it's common. We could go for just all basics here. Seems okay. And I think I do want to Goryos here, because I just get... If I hit 4 things, I can just discard a Atraxa to hand size, do it again next turn. Okay, so we take Teferi for sure, land for sure, Preordain for sure, Force for sure, and then that's between Solitude and Archaeologist, and I think it's easy Solitude. That being said, I still want to discard Atraxa to hand size. I can take 5. We're probably going to play Teferi next turn to try to stop... To, bounce Murktides up. Their Rhino seems awesome. Love to draw a black card, though. Did I have 6 turn? No, I went to discard on turn 1. So I guess now we just Goryos. Did not find a Ephemerate. We can take another Atraxa to bin, another Goryos though. And then we'll take Preordained Teferi. Land. That land's probably Fountain. Probably evoking Solitude this turn. Maybe draw Ephemerate for turn 2. Just another Goryos. Okay. They pack it in. Just destroying today. Absolutely crushing today. I kind of want to circle back to the, like, would you keep... In fact, like, I think a lot of people at, like, bigger level tournaments play really scared. Because they're scared of, like, either looking dumb or, like... taking the higher risk play, but in Magic, like you have to like confidently take the high risk play. Like playing well involves confidently taking the higher risk play. Open Decklist though, I don't know how that impacts this conversation exactly. Okay, up against Bird. Very very happy to like be streaming a deck that has a good Bird matchup for the first time in my life. Yeah, I think I actually discard Archaeologist so I can try to grief a Skullcrack or Rolling Vortex here. Was my riskiest play at the PT? Honestly, I went over like my matches in play. I don't know that I really took any super risky plays. I don't know that I had like big opportunities like this. I guess like I played against the PT champion, Jake. And I kept a hand that was like, it was 5 lands, Leyline of the Void Grist against Scam, and I drew a spell every single turn. I was feeling awesome, because I was drawing a spell every single turn, but Benton drew better than I did. Or sorry, Benton? Jake. Benton is the 2nd place PT at the first PT finisher, and it's funny. My brain just mixed both of them. Why do you like Archaeologist over Faithful Mending? I have both those cards in my deck. Or some 1-mana... Centripetal or even Thoughtseize. Archaeologist is amazing. The card is phenomenally good. It does so much. It digs you very deep. It digs for creatures and reanimation spells and Ephemerate, and it blocks. And it gives you like a density of good creatures to Ephemerate. Archaeologist is phenomenally good. I was also skeptical that it was a powerful effect or a good effect until I saw it in action a few times, and I am a true believer in Archaeologist. Only 2 Mending. We have 3 Mending. We have 3 Mending in the deck. We have 3 Mending over Indulgence because we need more black cards for Grief. You share 8 months. Thank you. Wait, I chose no cards again. Sorry, I thought I was getting concession lag. It's okay, we can't lose, but that's the second. I thought I was just getting like severe concession lag. I misclicked on this again. Target the Atraxa. Oh no. I had a Goryos in that pile. It's okay. We're super ahead. We really still can't lose, but classic Magic Online. It is nice that like we've done this twice and like we still still in like an unlosable position. We'll be attending Chicago PT. Yeah, I'll be at Magic Con Chicago like almost 100%. I think I'm gonna skip Vegas, despite like me. I'm sure I would have a great time, but I'm just like so exhausted from like the the Barcelona trip. Still, it seems like way too soon to take another trip. But I'll be and then like Atlanta's like right after it too. It's just a bit much for me. But I'll be going to Atlanta, Chicago. I've also been to Vegas the last 2 years, and it's not really a city I want to go to every year. Gamble too much. No, Burn usually plays Sanctifier. I don't play Crypt that often. Gonna go to SCG Columbus. I think that I will basically never travel to an SCG at this moment. Like none of them are close to me, besides the ones that are like local. I'll play all the local ones. There's a local one coming up in Dallas soon, I think, that I'll play in October, right? Like I'll play. I happily play all the local ones. They're really fun events, but they're just like terrible value to travel to. Person by playing Rip Sideboard. I thought there was like Sanctifier over Rip mostly, but I do believe you. We have a pending supposed board against them at least. Going for funsies or to qualify. Well, you can't like go to a Pro Tour and then like qualify and play at that Pro Tour. I have a couple chances to qualify for Chicago still. I'm not currently qualified, but there's some windows still. Man, losing this game would be crazy. How's the heat right now? Today is supposed to be like the hottest day of the summer, I think. Although I'm not really sure. I saw a forecast that said like anywhere from like 108 to 114 today. 108's not the hottest, but like I don't think I've seen above 114. And so it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, the next PT's in Chicago, although we have Worlds in Vegas in like a month. Sounds awful, yeah. It ain't good. I mean, no bounce. I am getting to it. No reason to bounce first, I think. I guess maybe I could draw, like, Atraxa. Alright, they're dead. Texas getting any part of this hurricane? I don't think so. My part usually doesn't get much, if any, of it. What else did I cut? I cut an Archaeologist. If I did, it was wrong. Probably just cut a eluding effect. I'm kind of low on black cards for Grief, though. Maybe I cut a Grief instead of an Indulgence. Sure. I played DRC Bauble in Burn before. I've never played Breach, and I don't think that it would be good. Purge any good? It's the problem with Purge is like it's not a very efficient answer to any of their 1-mana creatures, and it doesn't answer any of their graveyard hate either, so I just don't think you bring it in. The loss was to Prowess. We also punted game 1 super hard. Probably would have won. Yeah, Force is pretty good in the matchup, I think. I'm considering keeping this. I probably should mulligan, though. It has a lot going on. I'm going to keep, I think, on the draw. Yeah, at least where I am, like the heat is, it's not very humid here in Dallas. People say it is, but I don't personally feel like it's particularly humid. I guess I'm gonna go plains into Island Archaeologist just to take a little less damage. Thank you, Goblin Guide, though. I kind of mull unless Preordained. That's kind of the point of the card. It seems like a little reductive, to be honest, but to some extent, like this hand is also keepable because we have Preordains in the deck, which mean that we're more likely to get there. Just because Preordain's not in the hand doesn't mean like it's not impacting the keeper mull decision. Okay, did not hit anything. Probably not forcing Drift Bolts. Awesome Pudge, very cool. Congrats. Congrats winning the Ragavan. Hypothetically changing what changes would make to the list of Grief was canned. I don't know. Like the deck would be very different. But I do kind of wish Grief would get canned. That's a 2-mana 0/4 right there, baby. That's all you need. To play Orc instead of the blue guy. I like Orcish Bowmaster is a really good card. I don't really know why people want to play it in this deck. This is like a super high synergy deck that like I think wants to avoid staying away from like generic mid-range cards that don't really fit the game plan very well. Yeah, I think the reason why I don't think Dallas is humid is because I've been the hellhole that is Houston. 1, 2, 4, 5, 0. So the next indulgence is unfortunately just a draw 2. Mending a very good pickup here. Yeah, even the people that live in Houston, like, no offense, because you guys know how terrible Houston is. I don't know. On the truly humid days in Houston, rain falls out of the cloudless skies because it doesn't have time to form clouds. It's like poetry. There's a group of Magic players. Dallas has a really good Magic scene. It's like one of the best places I think in the country to play Magic. I'm just very lucky I was born here. And like I don't know that I would have been as into Magic if I like didn't grow up in such a awesome scene for it. But there's like a group of Houston players that like drive from Houston to Dallas for events all the time, and it's a long, disgusting drive. It's a really rough drive, but they make it all the time, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I'm gonna Mending in response to the crack here. Nice. That's me. Yeah. I mean, I love the Houston crew. They're like so happy and they love the game and they're really optimistic. But I don't know. Maybe you move to Dallas. It's the best LGS in Dallas. My favorite LGS is Darkhound. I've known the owners for years. They're really nice. The store is big and nice and clean and like comfortable and just great. I think I forced this because if my opponent has double instant speed burn on my turn, I die. Yeah, great tables. Yeah, their RCQs are awesome. Like I basically even like when I've gone through some periods of not really playing RCQs, but even during those periods, I like really always try to go to theirs. So if they have Path to Exile as their last card, we're still ahead but could lose. I guess we also don't get to Ephemerate or Atraxa, but we get to gain 7. And we also have a breeding pool in our deck now. I guess I should have taken the fetch land because of the breeding pool. Would I play for the modded RCQ season? If I had to register right now, I guess I'd just play this deck. We're like about to be 11-1 with it. Revisit a set. What would you want to go back to? I don't know. Like I'll say this. I know I'm in the minority, but like I'm just like not that attached to Magic lore, and I kind of even think that the new Universe Beyond stuff is all pretty sick, or for the most part pretty sick. I know that's not a particularly popular opinion, but I'm in general not like a very big fan of Magic lore. I am planning on playing the challenge tomorrow, yeah. Yeah, but they've also like revisited everything, you know, it's not like there's anything. There's not that much left, I think. The lore is so cool. It's okay. It's okay if you guys like Magic lore, of course. It's okay if you like something I don't like, but I don't hate it either, and there's some aspects that I think are cool, and it's all fine. But I'm just not attached to Magic lore, really. I think I'm just gonna get the breeding pool Oh, this is Marsh Flats. Fuck. Well, guess we can't Atraxa anyways. Return to Ravnica. I mean, my first set ever was Ravnica. I do like Ravnica a lot. If I had to pick a set, I'd probably like Ravnica. I guess my answer is like I would like more D&D sets. Like I think D&D lore is like super compatible with Magic lore and super interesting and like made by the same company. Like I would just like love to see like D&D sets all the time. I would be like really into that. Should have forced. If I force, I can't Ephemerate, right? I didn't have 4 mana. Also, maybe shouldn't have kept this hand. Yeah, I think deck Faded would be a good print in MH3. They're at 7. I mean, we also can't lose either way, but I don't know. I typically find the like super nitpicky in garbage time suggestions annoying. I also find just like the general mislethal suggestions annoying, to be honest. Was just joking. I mean, you weren't, but it's whatever. Alright, maybe just be going to discard, so let's pass here. I don't think playing a land accomplishes anything. Yeah, it's okay, not that serious, of course. So I think I discard Griselbrand so I can keep Atraxa as a blue card. Oz, 4 months, thank you, welcome back. What are our opinions on MH3? Have you seen the set? I don't have any opinions on MH3. Except I'm excited to have 1 million viewers for it. Oh, they're just tapping out? Do they ever have Force of Negation here? Yeah, I can't Ephemerate, so it's not like we're just in great shape. I'm maybe even supposed to like grief on my turn, then Goryo's with force up on their turn and block something. That's what we draw. I feel like I don't feel really. Final Fantasy is not a franchise I've ever engaged with in any way. I know Esther really likes Final Fantasy, and her brother really likes Final Fantasy. I don't really know anything about it. I'm sure it's fine. No, I did not work on Modern Horizons 3. I don't have to, like, it's really nice. Like, it's not like Lord of the Rings this time. I don't have to, like, pretend like I don't know anything. I genuinely did not consult on it. I think I just Goryo's now, right? Like, I always get to at least block the Channeler. Maybe I'll force this iteration, too. You want to forget about Dark Souls? No, I would really like to finish the Dark Souls no-hit run this year. Yeah, it's like finishing it this year is definitely something I'd like to do. I mean, their hand is pretty bad. So can I go? So if I force them down to 9 cards, drop to 10, play land, play Archaeologist. Even if I brick, I can still discard Atraxa to hand size. It seems fine. I do let them connive, though. No, I don't want to force. I want to just no. Never mind. I don't want to force. I just want to pass, and then Goryo's will force up on their turn. I don't want to play the Archaeologist. I want to Goryo's on their end step. Yeah, I'm generally excited for Modern Horizons 3. I'll say this, I haven't seen it. I do actually expect Modern Horizons 3 to be like a well-designed set. I think that like card design from Wizards, for me, my confidence in their design is at an all-time high. I think this is something that like isn't said like at all, but I think it's kind of amazing like how well they've been doing not breaking Modern every standard set. They've been doing a great job of that, and I think they like and for like how many cards they're putting out, I think they're doing a really, really good job. And things are like interesting and like cool, and just like there's a lot to sink your teeth into, but it's not. There's very rarely a broken card. Like the Ring is like the first broken card in a long time, and like for this to be like the first like really broken card in a long time, I think that's a big win. Yeah, I think they learned a lot from Modern Horizons 1 and 2. I think Modern Horizons 1 was worse than 2, like design wise. And then like for me, like Modern Horizons 2 is my favorite set of all time, like design wise. I know that's also maybe not that popular of an opinion, but I loved it, and I think Image 3 will be even better. Bolt's the Ragavan. I guess we force this. Good play. Now it's much more likely that they have a counterspell, though. I don't think I can go down to 5. Maybe only discard 1 Atraxa. Yeah, it was also crazy that MH2 was such a good draft format, too. So maybe I Goryo's now. We should have done it in their upkeep, actually. And getting to take Force in these kind of spots is pretty unreal. I guess I can take Force and Goryo's Vengeance, though. Don't think... I could Ephemerate now. It's a little bit worse against Unholy Heat, though. Yeah, I probably should have Goryo's enough keep. I also would kind of think that there's a good chance Modern Horizons 3 is the least powerful of all of them. I think just trying to get into the designers' heads. I would think that they're not going to try to push the envelope too much. But who knows? Yeah, I don't think that this is a good Lorien Revealed deck. I think that Lorien Revealed is a good card. It's a card that I have liked to play in some decks, but I don't think that this is one of them. I kind of went over in the deck tech at the beginning on why that is. Yeah, but yeah, I think if you like cut a land for a Lorien Revealed, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But I also think like this deck just doesn't like get to 5 lands and cast it like nearly as often as the other decks that play it, like Dimir, Omnath, or Blue White. Like Lorien Revealed is really good when like you just want to go 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1, and then like hit your land drops and then like cast it if you're flooding is like when it's really good. Except for Mage 3, it'd be cool if they didn't print another free spell cycle. Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier. I was kind of thinking, I designed this on stream earlier, and I'm very proud of it. I think that if they were going to do another free spell cycle, what I would like to see is like pitch ley lines, basically. Like they're enchantments that you can spend 4 mana on, or you can pitch to cast them. And they do like leyline-esque things. Think how Razor Creativity is playable in Pioneer? I don't know, maybe. Didn't they already do that? So like Endurance Cycle? I'm confused. I mean, like, ley lines are different. Like, ley lines just enter in your opening hand. These you can draw and pitch cast instead of them having to be in your opening hand. Yeah, they're enchantments. They're enchantment pitch cards. Force of Virtue, yeah. Force of Virtue is probably like exactly like the kind of card you want to print. Pretty interesting card. Pretty well balanced. I'm bringing these in for opposing graveyard hates. It is the most important card in the matchup. And I think what I did last time was I brought I cut the Griselbrand, right? For the Stonies and the extra 2 Teferis. That seems fine. I think it would be better if they just didn't make any pitch cards. If they do make them, I think they should all be really toned down. Like to some extent, like people just hate. They just hate any free spells. But you can print like underpowered, interesting, balanced pitch cards. Force of Virtue, Force of Rage, Force of Despair are all like. Force of Virtue's seen a little bit of play. The other 2 have seen like none. Like they're like kind of at least thought provoking. I guess Force of Rage is a bad example because that card is just unbelievably bad. MK 28 months, thank you. Yeah, I hate spells in general. Lands are truly what Magic is all about. I think all the pitch cards they've done are good except for Force of Vigor and Fury. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Fury is too pushed. I think Grief is like a little too good with like the scam cards. Force of Vigor is a card I've grown to hate, but also like I play a lot of decks that are like, man, if Force of Vigor didn't exist, this deck would be just so busted. I don't know. A new Pact cycle. Yeah, the packs are cool. I like packs. Another thing too is, and like I haven't really sat down and thought about it very much, but like Magic is a game, or like Magic has a lot of design space unexplored. I think that like you could mess around a little bit with like the possibilities of free spells, and you can just get weird with it. I'd love to get a little weird with it. Probably taking Indulgence over this Stony. My opponent hasn't played a Graveyard Hate spell yet. Could be just correct to take Stony though. How do I feel with the new scam card? It's like the most annoying spoiler I've seen in a long time. like it doesn't buff the scam deck very much, but I just am just like taking psychic damage thinking about losing to the 1 damage from that card. I'm just taking psychic damage. I should have taken the Stony, huh? It's okay. We have a lot of looks at an additional copy of Stony Silence. I think I will just play another Archaeologist here. Be kind of sad if I mill over an Atraxa. Alright, I milled over an Atraxa, and I'm kind of sad, I guess. We have one in our hand, though. It's not like that big a deal. More Perspiration of the Marches. Yeah, I don't know. Again, there's just like a lot of design space that... There's a lot of design space. Need to board Pending? I have Stony Silence. Stony Silence is way better. Stony Silence is 2 mana, you have no Graveyard Hate the rest of the game, your Baubles don't work, and your Ragavans don't work. Pending, like, they just still have more Graveyard Hate to draw into. And also, one thing I'm starting to learn, they never ever counter Stony Silence. It's so weird. They just don't counter it. I think the Elementals would have been much more interesting if they had to hit themselves an empty board as Solitude and Fury. Yeah, I agree that, like, I think Solitude, after like a lot of digesting, I think they really did well with Solitude, to be honest. I think that it's like a very important safety valve and is relatively balanced. Fury I think should have been nerfed in some way. I probably, like, in retrospect, wouldn't really have changed Solitude at all. Yeah, maybe they'll counter the Stony. Solitude could have just been a spell. Yeah, people say this all the time. Solitude could have just been a spell. And I'm assuming this means, like, you can never... I'm assuming this thought, Solitude could have just been a spell. I'm assuming what that is supposed to mean. I guess let's go Teferi this turn, then Teferi plus Stony next turn. I'm assuming what that means is that you can just never hard cast it for any effect or value. And this is just, like, not a card that will see, like, any play, I think. Like, maybe some sideboard play against, like, Hammer, like, some broken stuff. Yeah, and then people always go... People also have said so many times that, like, Solitude is better than Swords. They should have just printed Swords. Swords is much better than Solitude. Swords to Plowshares is much better than Solitude. They really just let it resolve, huh? Maybe I should have Plessed. Like, I have to go to discard now. Can't really discard the Atraxa. Grief should have been non-creature. Yeah. I don't know. To me, like, Grief... The thing about Grief is really weird. It's like... Even though Grief is, like, really annoying in Living End, it does feel, like, pretty balanced. And, like, it is really just, like, broken in combination with, like, the scam cards. And I don't really know what the proposed solution for that dynamic would be, I guess. I've thought of playing, like, 1 Through the Breach. So in this deck, I've played additional reanimation effects many times. I've played like 1. Oh, they're casting this card. This card is so bad on this board. I've played Aether Mage's Touch in combination with Witch's Cottage, where you fetch Cottage, put your creature on top, Aether Mage's Touch. I've played Footsteps of the Goryo, and, like, these effects are all much worse than Goryo's, but of course getting redundancy to this effect is really nice. I think because Archaeologist and Preordain are so good at digging, you just don't need the worse effects in the deck anymore, which is great. Yeah, you should probably cast the Hers opponent. Is Aether Mage's Touch bad? I don't think Aether Mage's Touch is bad, but I also wouldn't call it good. Somewhere in the hell in between. Okay, so I think we go Teferi, Bounce Shredder, then Stony Silence. No Fury, dealt 3, no one believed they would print a card that spread around 4 damage. Yeah, I don't know. My thoughts being that it dodged Graveyard Hate. This deck is really good at playing through Graveyard Hate. We're going to beat a Hearse this game. We're going to beat a Hearse plus a million counterspells this game. We've beat a lot of Graveyard Hate. I like... There are other builds of this archetype that are very, very much like that attitude of go big around the Graveyard Hate. I don't think that strategy is particularly bad. But I've also played a lot of like this kind of build, and I think you're very good at playing through the hate. And Preordain is like such a big, like Preordain also like digs you pretty well for like, and Archaeologist both dig you well for like your answers to hate. Like this game, my Archaeologist dug us for the Stony Silence really hard. Archaeologist plus Ephemerate is basically dig through time. Yeah, then Purge is really good against Scam because it gets Blood Moon, Leyline, Dothi, Voidwalker, and then also all their other cards. So probably Solitude Ephemerates first. They don't get any connives. And then don't really see much reason to do anything else. Like I don't think I would Goryo's and Atraxa here, even if I hit one. What do you think? I don't think I've seen a new Prowess creature. I haven't seen any new spoilers today. Yeah, we played the Demi-Lich deck with Archmage's Charm, or no, sorry, is it Charm? I think it was worse than the White Splash, unfortunately. But I do still like love that deck so much. Okay, nice to have a good target for my Solitude Rebound instead of the unplayable Ragavan. Can't believe the new set comes out in like 2 weeks. It's so crazy. Suppose I target the Archaeologist and dig for Goryos. Because if I miss, I'm just hardcasting Solitude this turn, probably. Kind of an interesting pickup. Yeah, I think I just hardcast the Solitude on the Channeler. It's always spoiler season, I know. Then I think we can trade Solitude for Ragavan. Although I guess it's kind of bad if they have like Burn Spell for Solitude, plus Burn Spell for Teferi, plus I guess if they Burn Spell the Teferi, I can't bounce the Solitude anyways. Never mind. Oh, it's also kind of worse against second Ragavan. Yeah, maybe I should have just not attacked. New room? No, this is the same room I've been in for the entire time I've been in the house. I don't know why. Maybe just the sign isn't in frame. Obviously, I mess with the angle a lot with the old standing desk. Sure. Yeah, I've been thinking about portable AC. I have a box fan. It's not too hot in here right now. It's usually like in 2 hours it gets like 85 in here or something. Land. I intentionally did not play my land as I have two Faithful Mending here. I may very well loot them both away. Although I'll keep one and just jam Atraxa at some points. Gonna play the Teferi first, though. I feel like you always do well with the random strats. Maybe. But you want 7 land for Atraxa? Yeah, but if we want 7th land for Atraxa, we just get to keep it. You know what I mean? We don't have to. We don't have to loot it away. We might want to loot it away. Probably just play around Spell Pierce. I'm at 20 life. Yeah, we cut the Seachrome close to the breeding pool. I know I didn't. Oh, I didn't play around that. I know I didn't update the Stream Decker. Guess Atraxa would have got through Force of Negation and Flusterstorm, huh? They've used 0 counterspells so far, though, so they definitely could still have one. Probably pretty content to just hold up Solitude here. So we'll attack before Atraxing, I think. Oh yeah, I guess it is like somewhat realistic for them to have another counterspell, and Grief is also like, if they're not chumping here, just a lethal menace attacker. So I think we cast that instead of. Oh wait, they can't counterspell. Sorry, they can't crack their fetch. Is Murktide a real deck again with Preordain? It's kind of a funny question, considering it's like just been like so popular in Modern the last couple years. Preordain is definitely a nice upgrade for it. It's not like the biggest deal ever. 3060 so far after going 5041. Deck is sick. The mulligan. Got any advice for almost done buying a home? No, I don't think so. Good. Congrats, though. Any of the Lord of the Rings Scry Matters cards get used with Preordain? I mean, the like 2 mana like draw a card, flashback, draw a card is the most interesting, but it's still probably not super close to where you want to be. We'll take that. Kind of the old best case scenario, which you always love to see. Okay, this is kind of bad if I mill over my basic planes, but I want to get all basics against Scam if possible. Pass? Stick up a good Tron matchup? Probably not. We do have the Stonies in the sideboard, which I imagine help a decent amount. But I also have a hard time imagining that the matchup is, like, particularly good. You have a plan against them. Your plan's like, okay, just like Atraxa and force all their stuff. Force and Grief all their stuff. I guess I keep the Force. We're obviously looking for a white card, though. Oh, sorry, bin the Force. I'll keep the Force. Could also just draw a land and hardcast the Solitude. A lot of cards I can have here. Ruin my day, unfortunately. Including that one. I think the best line is to Ephemerate my Archaeologist, try to find a white card, then evoke, and then I can like rebound the Ephemerate. Okay, now we'll just die. This is the current sideboard plan. On the play 2 Teferi. On the draw, play 2 Pending. Okay, I'm gonna also blow my nose real quick. Right back. Yeah, Archaeologist is really good. We did beat Scam earlier today. Gonna have to get pretty lucky to beat Scam twice, especially having to win both sideboard games, but can happen. Once on a mull to 5. Griselbrand stays in against Bowmaster. Yeah, I think so. Maybe shouldn't. Yeah, maybe you're right, huh? How often does deck win games by scamming? Pretty often, I think. Often enough. Well, mull to 5, scam, Fury is a kind of interesting start. I do really want to Indulgence or Mending turn 1 or turn 2 so that I can get an Atraxa in the yard before my opponent Dothy Voidwalkers. I also now have Goryos. I guess I just Indulgence. Could find Grief, so I want to do this now. I feel like you need to adjust your fetches with the breeding pool. We should maybe be playing one more Delta and one less Marsh Flats, but also like you want to fetch like you're in even distribution of basics, so it's at the very least a conversation. Okay. No Ephemerate, but Solitude is at least a nice pickup. Paper version, what we could replace Emrakul with? Kozilek? Ulamog? I just want like a sideboard card against Mill. You don't have to play sideboard card Mill if you don't want one. Pretty optional, I think. Take Ephemerate or take Purge number 2. Both seem pretty good. Ephemerate digs so much. Let's just take the Ephemerate. And we can't really get blown out either because we have the Teferi. Let's take the Goryos. We have the rebound though. I guess I'm assuming they'll take the Goryos. Dead card. Ragavan? I don't know how Ragavan went from like this like superstar best card in the format, everybody hates it, to like just like every single time the worst card you could have. I'm like just so off Ragavan. Take another dig through time. I think this is just a troll 2. We're casting it either way. Let's just cast it, I guess. Then we can go Flashback Mending. Bowmaster. Yeah, I mean Bowmaster too, but there's like just so many, I feel like cards like this, they're just like, oh, you drew Ragavan? I'm so happy. Ragavan or Goyf's biggest drop-off? I mean Goyf, but like Ragavan is still like a playable card. Goyf is too, kind of. Like I don't hate registering Goyf. My opponent has Bowmasters and forgot I have Teferi in play, I think. Can we beat Mom Elishnorn? I mean, yeah, we're like much faster than that card. You have Grief for it. I don't know. I'm not a card I'm like super scared of. Am I working for an update for Green Red Food? I've been thinking about it a little bit. I don't like have ideas at the moment, maybe, but I do kind of think that deck might be secretly good at the moment. So maybe we just play 1 Teferi, 2 Pending. I agree with the thought about cutting Griselbrand against the Bowmaster. Yeah, I think that if I was going to register Murktide, I'd be... I like the Dreadhorde Arcanist a lot. I think I would probably just still play that kind of build. Gotta keep this. Can play around Blood Moon well. Could discard to hand size. Might discard to hand size. Just like get the Atraxa in underneath the Voidwalker is always so important. Could be correct to have Solitude there. I think you don't because you have to pitch Atraxa. Could have been correct though. And if anybody has any strong opinions on that. On Solituding there. So I Solitude and then they take the Archaeologist or the Goryos. I don't know. It's close. Legionnaire at 20 months. Thank you. Yeah, these games where they go scam Grief into Voidwalker, it's kind of easy feeling like there was maybe something you could have done. And I guess we did draw Purge, huh? Do you think the scam play patterns talks to the game? Yeah, I'm like pretty like over the Grief combo at this point in time. I would be like very happy if they ban Grief. Like I'm more happy every day. Although if we find Ephemerate here, we also get to win with our scam. And a Mending. Interesting. What to do? We could get really greedy and try to find an Ephemerate off the next Archaeologist. That's probably a bit too greedy. I think I'll just pitch. I'm going to do this now before they can use an Undying effect on the Voidwalker. Kind of messed up against that earlier. If we beat Scam Grief into Voidwalker, that's going to be a glowing review for the deck. Okay, dead card. I think we're supposed to Archaeologist here. If we find an Ephemerate, we can maybe double block and then just like lose 1. I guess we're only losing 1 anyways, huh? Do I Pending the Ragavan? I guess I'm Pending the Ragavan because this lets me double block the Grief. Down to 2. Down to 1, sorry. Alright, we're pretty dead. Can't even Indulgence to try to find Solitude white card. Okay. Bummer. Record is now an embarrassing 12-2. If we had Ephemerate off that Archaeologist though, we'd win that game probably. Huh. I'd probably keep this on the draw and we'll just 6 on the play. Probably just go to 5. Okay, so we have Solitude, Ephemerate, but we have to put back 2 cards. I don't have a black source for the Goryos. I think I'll put back Solitude Goryos. And hopefully Scam Solitude is good at this matchup. Curious how you would play a mono white Death and Taxes in Modern? I wouldn't. It's just like, I don't know, like I've said this a million times. I don't understand how Death and Taxes decks win. I don't understand their deck construction. I don't understand how I would go about building a Death and Taxes deck. I don't get it. Okay, roll to 5 against Split's probably scam. It's not ideal. I just don't get it. You basically can't build D&T in this format. Yeah, but I that's probably true. But again, I just don't. If there are any nuances or intricacies to constructing a Death and Taxes deck, I don't understand them. Kind of an interesting spot. We get to like entomb the Atraxa. Yeah, imagine playing Thalia against Orcish Bowmasters. Like against, at least against Ren and 6, you make it cost one more. Fnatic with the 19 months, thank you. I'll go back. Okay. Pitching Blood Moon. Well, let's, we don't have much time, but we have a little bit of time to rip a Goryo's off the top. Archaeologist would be nice, would dig really deep, and also chump block Grief for a turn. Okay, we got our Wish. Ephemerate also lets me block for another turn, maybe. Okay, well, taking this. Gotta dodge a discard effect. Probably can't beat a Blood Moon. We could maybe beat a Blood Moon. Not that I want to try. Archaeologist is so good. It's just so insane in this deck. Fable! Play Fable! Let's go, dude. Do you need 10 cards to find Ephemerate, or do you need just one? Let's go. Okay, so we get Watery Grave over... I would take any white fetch over Delta, I think, to get planes. But we don't have access to that. Oh no! So hold on. I'll take. I want to get the Ephemerate. So okay, Ephemerate, Grief, Preordain, Delta. Done. Yeah, you know, I said that like after we 5-0'd the first league that it's always so hard to evaluate like this archetype or whatever, and it just takes a lot of time to figure out like, do you have the best build or are you just running hot? It is, I think, starting to seem like we have found a really good build, if not like clearly the best build of this deck we've ever had. Why not wait to play the land? I guess there's not much reason. Okay, opponent concedes. Or running really hot. Yeah, I mean, we are running hot. Like no deck is 12-2 or 13-2, 12-3 without running hot to some extent. But that doesn't mean like the list is not also like probably the best it's ever been, and I'm feeling pretty good about it at the moment. Alright, so this is our sideboard plan on the draw. Let's stick with it. We also just beat Scam on the multi-5. Although their hand wasn't great, I guess. If we're 2-1 against Scam on the day, it's probably going to feel pretty good. Yeah, I mean Binding is really good, but like you get to play so many less lands. You get to be much better against Blood Moon, and Preordain is really good in this deck. It's like Preordain is like the exact kind of card you've always wanted in this kind of deck. Yeah, we may try the pull from Eternity idea later. Think you could play Become Immense and Arcanist Prowess for its synergy with Arcanist, or do you think it's digging too deep? What's funny is the first deck I ever streamed right after Modern Horizons 1 was Green-Red Prowess with Become Immense, Scale Up, and Dreadhorde Arcanist. The deck has always been a pet deck of mine. We've played a few different iterations of the deck over the years. I have a lot of nostalgia for that combo because it was the first deck I ever streamed with. I don't think it's amazing, and then it's kind of hard to play so we've played that idea a lot, and I don't think that Preordain is a card that fits particularly well with the idea, and to some extent, like we'd want Preordain to fit because it hasn't been quite as good enough in the past. Versus is really good against our build because we have four Celestial Purges. But thankfully we have a couple pendings that can also take care of this. I'd love to see this stream. I mean, we've had several Become Immense Dreadhorde Arcanist streams. I've probably played like 6 or 7 builds of the deck over the course of my career. I can feel I don't want to say it, but I can feel it coming. Maybe they'll play Magus. We've seen a lot of Maguses today. No. Okay, probably dead. Couldn't really play around with this game because I couldn't get white mana. I needed white mana. We could, somehow draw our basics, but mostly just clicking through her until we're dead. We've been beating Blood Moon a little bit today, but this was not a game where we could play around it, I think. Yeah. 1 out, basic swamp, and then the Atraxa has to find us our planes. Maybe we're supposed to grief next turn, I don't know. Well, if we draw the swamp, we'll grief. These cards terminate and keeps the other cards. Opponent's getting a lot of value by taking a lot of time on their decisions, because I just don't have too much psychic energy to play through a Blood Moon. Okay, I'll wait for them to take the Goryos, and then I'll scoop. Okay, game 3. On the play for game 3... I think seeing Hearse, I'm actually just going to keep in the 2 pendings, 1 Teferi. For all the marbles. A lot of one-landers, because that's kind of what you sign up for. I think you put back Indulgence there. Kind of sweating the decision to get Godless Shrine or Plains next turn too. We can wait for a little bit before we have to sweat it too much. Crispy with the $5 dono. Thank you. I'm having a good Friday today. Esther's brother is in town. We're probably gonna go get dinner with him. I think he's downstairs playing Mario Kart right now. I was hearing it when I went to the bathroom a second ago. Definitely depends on their hand what they take. Like if they have Hearse, they definitely take Ending. Otherwise, they probably just take the Goryos. If they have Voidwalker, they need to worry about me like milling over an Atraxa and then Goryosing it. Here's my Mario Kart main. I played a lot of Double Dash back when I was a teenager. I played so much Mario Kart Double Dash. I was like, I think that I was like, of any game I've ever played, I was like the best at Mario Kart Double Dash. I really felt like a true god of that game. But I haven't like really played any of them since. I played like occasionally like at a party or whatever. But I was like a god in Double Dash. And I played Toad usually. Or Toad was my favorite. I guess you had to pick another character. It's been a long time. I say that, I don't know. I was just a teenager, and like anybody, like I would play with against like at a party or something. Like I would never lose. I would just like never lose, but I don't know. I probably was not like real super competitive at it. I was like local legend Double Dash player. Well, not lucky enough to have milled over an Atraxa. The Smash Bros effect, yeah, it's pretty similar to Smash Bros. I would also like kind of clean up all my friends playing Smash Bros, but I was also like for some reason always way more aware. I think I want to maybe fight a land. I was always like I think a little bit more aware that I was just like above average Smash Bros player. For Melee. And now actually I have like some friends that are like super competitive Smash players, like real like serious esports Smash players, and, and like they're just, you know, on now I feel like I'm awful at Smash Brothers, but I still probably could beat, you know, most average players. Also, I think Smash Bros is really fun with items and like the craziness, but all my friends who play like they like to play really competitively and sweaty. And okay, we found a purge. Definitely was what I was looking for. I played first Tekken 3 World Champion, actually. Cool. I think a Grief is about to send me to the Shadow Realm. Maybe not. Maybe just a Blood Moon will send me to the Shadow Realm. Alright, we need to find more purges, I guess. Uh-oh, we have milled over an Atraxa, although I guess we still get to... Oh, you know what? I was supposed to let the Leyline and the Void resolve before Ephemerating, because nothing gets Void countered. Kind of a weird spot, but would have been correct. And we can purge this before they can Void Walker, but... So we can Preordain, the Bowmaster goes up to 2-2, but 2-2 is manageable for now. Aren't replacement effects in the same layer, meaning they get to choose if it's exiled void counter? No, if your card is the card getting exiled, you get to choose how it's exiled. You get to choose if it's exiled with a void counter or not. On Magic Online, it always chooses the better option for you. It always chooses to exile it without the counter. But in theory, you have the choice to like bait them into using it, I guess. So we can draw Solitude, or like running. I don't even think running Purge does it. Solitude or bust. Breeding Pool could not save us. Well, 12-3, 1-2 against Scam. Matchup doesn't seem great. Did beat it once. But that is, certainly going to be the factor keeping Goryos in check. That being said, the deck looked great all day. This version, probably the best version we've ever had. And I'm like really even... I'm liking the 75 a lot. I don't think I'd even like make any changes going into the challenge tomorrow, probably. I do think I'll probably play this in the challenge tomorrow, play some creativity in between rounds. Or sorry, not creativity, play some cube in between rounds, but we'll see. That is gonna be all for me today, though. Good stream. Very nice. I'm gonna probably tweet a little bit about the deck, and I will be probably rating Gem today. I'll be back tomorrow for the challenge. Probably not. The challenge starts at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so like about an hour after I usually start streaming. Small chance I also stream the Sunday challenge, but probably taking Sunday off. We'll see.